And I'm live again. This time I'm on StreamYards, so let's share that one out. Need some bodies in here. Okay. Ooh, slow. I hope my audio sounds good. So, all right, buddy. Yeah, mate, I'll chuck the link, mate. No, not the channel. There we go. Right, I've got some, mate. I want somebody to come on, mate, so I can see what it sounds like. I'll listen back to it. See if it'll withstand the strain. Let's get on here. Aye, bit of a delay there, Mucker. Ta-da. Right, so let's see if I can share my screen and still chat away and not turn into a Dalek. No, not my channel. We'll be on Bonnie Lad's channel tonight. I'm just, it's just a wee test, mate, no? Ooh, window. Let's see if I can share this. Bing. Yeah, why is it doing that, though? I'm an X, I'm sharing that screen. Dildo. Hey, let's see. So come it's fucking down. Hey, here we go. Right, so let's see if I can watch a video and at the same time chat, not turn into something you really can't listen to. Oh, that's me now. Can't watch that one. Oh, here's my mucker. Love it. Brilliant. Oh, here we go.
How you doing? All right.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, you doing? That's good. That thing you've done, that thumbnail's good. You said to me, Tam, I've just got to get that pronunciation right. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it sounds a lot better. And like you said, that's what all it was. It was just your internet. It's exactly the same as maybe the computer, wireless. It's just not good enough sometimes. So that's why I had to get a cable, an Ethernet cable. For some reason, my laptop's okay. It's probably because it's a bit modern. It's only about 4 years old. As my computer's about, I don't know, it's quite old. It's about 9-year-old. So there's a lot of reasons for that as well. So yeah, it sounds good.
Cool. Good. I can't duck anything now. There's no. I can't just mumble my way through.
Oh yeah, just have to slow down. That's why I've got to try to. I just talk too fast. I can't. I think it's nerves and anxiety. To be honest with you, when I'm different when I'm comfortable with people like I've known for a while, but when I'm on that John Davison stream the other day, it's just go too fast. I've got to really slow down, and that's where this mispronunciation comes from. That's my excuse anyway. So
to be Sensum quite chilled back when he chats.
Well, that's how it should be. Really, it should be I don't mean nervous. I just think I don't know. I'm not sort of frightened because I've done a lot of streams. I just think a little bit of anxiety creeps in sometimes. It's just how it is, really. And just like I said, I've got to be more conscious about just slowing things down and taking that little bit of a second to look, just slow, rather just going on and rabbiting on, basically. So I'll see if what I can do tonight. I'm not watching How the West Was, and I always get mixed up with that because that's quite a bit of a good film. Is Once Upon a Time in the West. And I'm halfway through. It's all right, but it's not sort of grabbing me. It's just weird about Henry Fonda because you're always used to seeing Henry Fonda as a good guy. So that took a bit of a complete bastard, didn't it? Then you've got Charles Bronson playing that harmonica. I find that quite funny, really. But I'll just read a lot of the stuff I imagine you've done yourself, just out of interest, really. It flopped, didn't it? It was a big flop in America, that movie. So
it done well in Europe, yeah, but
yeah, it did, like you said, it did really well in Europe. And did bad in America, but it's almost like it's a strange feeling. A lot of these spaghetti westerns when you watch a lot of them, and all the settings as well. But they are very dystopian, aren't they? They are very bleak. They're not really. They're a lot different to a lot of the sort of wholesome American westerns, from the sort of 50s and even to the 60s. They're a lot different. That's probably a lot to do with the settings as well, I imagine. But yeah, I'm going to watch it. Like I said, I'm going to watch it all the way through. Then I'm going to sort of skip through. A few other films. I don't want to mention all films. I was listening. So sorry. I'm just going to skip through the other two because I've seen them before. It's just a bit of a catch up. And I watched a few films last night. Yeah, I'll talk about it in the stream tonight. I watched a couple last night. They're good. I swapped from BitChute. The other channel's better. The one you
Free Couch channel.
Yeah, it's a lot better. For some reason, that BitChute, it's just, I'm not saying it does it all the time, but it has a tendency sometimes, and I've got really fast broadband to buffer a lot. But the other one's a lot better, and the screen's just perfect. You don't have to enlarge it. It's like a 3/4 on my laptop, not my laptop, my PC monitor. It's good. And the sound's better as well. It sounds a lot better. So, yeah, it's quite a really good thing. Like, you don't have to... I know you did all the links, but that was which is really, really good of you to do that. So I watched most of them through BitChute. There's two I couldn't watch. That's what I'm doing now. I'm watching these other ones. So I should catch up with all the movies thing. I'm just got to go through movies I'm talking about, just some facts. But I'm not going to go dwelling too much into it because I just think I've been a bit fake then because I'm just going to pull a few. I'm going to leave a few tabs up, quote from them, a few sort of stuff. But I'm not going to go like OTT about it because it's pointless me spending 20 minutes talking about a movie and like yourself, well, even longer than what do we say? Do you know what I mean? So it's hopefully it should go well tonight. It's just something a little bit different.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. Look, see, westerns for me is a kind of funny one because although I liked the westerns were okay growing up for me, you know what I mean? But it's only recently in the past couple of years that I've came around to really enjoying western movies.
Well, I think some of the movies we've mentioned between us, it's the same with myself. There's a few I'm going to check out. I think there's a couple you mentioned, definitely one. And there's, I think it's 3 or something from Sentiment I'm going to check out, which I've never heard of, to be honest with you. So it's like you said, it's so accessible. It's free, isn't it? You can watch them on BitChute or that other streaming service you've mentioned. So there's no excuses not to watch them. I'm not going to say I'm going to watch them every single day, but I'm definitely going to catch up on a couple, definitely. Because like you said, the Westerns, I was sort of brought up with more John Wayne sort of stuff, but I always liked the spaghetti westerns because I remember being at school and it being on telly. Everybody watched it. I just thought it was fantastic. How quick he could shoot people. I know it's a bit OTT, but there was just something different about spaghetti westerns than the sort of John Wayne westerns. And like I said, I've got a bit of a soft spot for John Wayne even. But yeah, it's not. I prefer horror movies like yourself, sci-fi sort of stuff and other stuff. But with westerns, everyone watching what we're talking about tonight, I have watched them, and the only one what I just mentioned is the last spaghetti western what I'm watching now. I can't remember. All I remember about that movie is Charles Bronson, and that's it with his silly harmonica. It's just weird. Every time he talk, he starts playing. It's a bit off-putting. But yeah, Henry Fonda, that's it's weird to see him because you always see him in them wholesome films, and to see him to portray the character he does, I found that a little bit strange. Took a short while to get my head around that, to be honest with you. But I think he was doing those films like a lot of them were doing it for the money, weren't they?
Aye. But we'll talk about it later on tonight, mate. No.
Yeah. Dwell on it.
Yeah. But aye, sounds good, mate. It looks good, and I'm sharing screens, and it's looking all right as well.
Yeah, it sounds perfect. It's like I said, you're not going to change your accent, are you? As long as there's no excuses, as long as people can understand your Glaswegian accent, we should be okay.
I'm actually surprised. I'm a bit spit out. I'm surprised how that people can understand me. To be honest.
Yeah, I think, like you said, we did a stream. Well, me and you did a stream a while ago, and that's one of the best ones viewed, believe it or not. And I think it's better than the other three. I mean, there's three of us. I don't know how many got views. It's nearly 600 or something. I put some into private status for various reasons. And like I said, it was perfect. I just think it's I don't know. I tend to find that people, maybe Americans, maybe or other European people, might struggle with a Scottish accent or a Glaswegian accent. I don't know. I think most people, especially when it's rebooting, that's a little bit rebotting or whatever. That's a nightmare for us all.
Oh, mate, it's such a pain in the arse, mate, honestly.
Yeah, it's not your fault. Well, I suppose it is your fault because you should have bought it.
Blame me. Did you watch that video? But did you see the video I just shared, though?
No.
I'll pop it back on again, mate.
Oh, the one about the greatest guy who's coming to your door?
Aye.
Yeah, I've seen that one before.
That's my mate, man.
Yeah, you were saying that's your mate who comes to your door, yeah. You're not even telling us that's because you're on about bringing them on the stream, aren't you, at some point?
Yeah, but I was just chatting to him, man. Oh, shit. Is that shared? No.
Well, yeah, like you said, Tam, it sounds good to me. God willing, it's still the same at 8 o'clock or whatever. But just like you said, when you're on backstage, you don't use the internet like it would do because you're off it, aren't you, in theory? You're just having a conversation. Right. It's a lot different. It can be a bit deceiving, that. It's when you go live. It's like my son, he plays games streaming and he uses a lot of the internet. That's why we've got this faster broadband. So it's faster for him, but it helps me as well. We're not like competing who's using the internet sort of thing. So it does help. It's a special thing, if you know what I mean.
I just really needed to get this up and running and try it, like just now. Know what I mean, Matt?
But it's like I said, going forward, if you're going to do streams on your channel, or like even just go on other people's channels, you don't want to sort of be every time. It just puts people off. Well, Tam's here again. You can't nobody can understand what he says. And you don't have excuses with Scottish accents. So
I seen it in the chat. I seen it in the chat last weekend. It's like Robot Tam, Dalek Tam's back. Oh,
no, but that's what I'm saying. It's people, nice people, but eventually, like you'd be the same if somebody were putting a stream up part time.
Yeah, no, I know. That's why it pisses me off, mate, because I listen to it and I think that's just not good enough at all. Is it? What I mean? But I've no excuse now.
The thing you told me, Joe Citizen, a couple of years ago when I started streaming, and I were having issues. I can't remember what it was now. I think it was to do with again, similar to yourself, wireless and all that. And he said that's one of the first things what people, once they start hearing you, they don't come across well. Not necessarily how you talk, but because of the internet interference and buffering and stuff like that. It just puts people off. It don't matter. Mm-hmm. You can be the greatest guy in the world, but if people can't understand what you're saying, it's just going to say, well, fuck that, I'm just going to switch off. I don't want to listen to this guy. So I think going forward, obviously, Yosemite Tam, which you ought to keep that. I think it's good. You'll do all right. Just like you said, do a pop-up stream on your channel or something, what you're sort of doing now. I know you're doing a tester, but that's all you can do. You're there now anyway. You've got what you need, because you did mention this a couple of months ago, so I'm glad you've sorted it out. Like you said, it gives you a peace of mind as well.
Aye, well, does put me at ease, mate, that I'm not struggling to be understood.
Sounds a bit horrible, that, doesn't it? Sounds like you got special needs.
I'm Scottish, man.
Yeah. Don't be careful what we say.
But see, that's me living it. Well, I'm Scottish. I can slag off the Scots because I'm a Scottish dude. Know what I mean? But that's living in England, mate. And I've lived in England just slightly longer than I've ever lived in Scotland now.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? But my accent still struggles, no?
Well, my dad's the same. He's lived in UK. He's lived in Yorkshire for, how old is he now? About 50 years. And he's still got a strong accent, but he's adopted some Yorkshire sort of things. I can't explain what. It's like a crossover, but you can tell he's Scottish. He's not like Lulu, who denies her. Who every time, I can't stand that word. Every time she talks, she's trying. Well, she couldn't real because my auntie knew. Well, didn't know. She's the same age as my auntie, And that's what she's from the really roughest part. I think it is. I'm not sure.
She's from Denison, mate. Listen. My mother told me, right, that this is from my mum, so I doubt she told me a fib, but it was my uncle that moved her when she moved from Denison, because she's from Denison, from the East End of Glasgow.
Yeah.
And I grew up Cranhill, Ricasey, around the East End of Glasgow. And my mum was like, yeah, but your uncle moved her down there, and she was a fucking snobby bitch when she went down. She's always been a snobby bitch.
Some of my family, it's no, we don't talk about Lulu, believe me. I just ended up coming up in a conversation, and I was just saying that to somebody, because that's what I said about you should be proud of your accents regardless of your background. And when she talks, years ago, watching this thing she was on, and she talks completely different, and she's doing everything right slowly how she talks, because she doesn't want her accent to come through. I find that really fake. I don't like it.
Yeah, no, that's it, mate. When I first moved down to England, I had this girlfriend. She was Scottish, right? But she'd lived in England for so long. She spoke with her English accent. But see, when she spoke to me, she sounded just like me. You know what I mean? When she was in Scotland, she sounded just like everybody else. But so she could do it mid-conversation. So she'd be talking to me just like this. Then she'd turn mid-conversation and talk to one of her English friends in an English accent.
That's strange. You get people like that. It's like people who, for whatever reason, it might be on doing live streams, for example, or it could be life in general, don't want to sort of, I don't know, I just find them strange. You shouldn't be ashamed of your accent. You talk how you talk, And when you can just sort of tell people when they're putting what's the word for it now? Try to put on like you said, putting on a different accent or try to hide their accent. I just find it fake. And people look at them, why are you trying to do that? I've met a few people like that in my lifetime, various facets in my life, whether it's through work or through travelling, and you meet these people and you just think, why are you doing that? I'm not ashamed of the way I talk. If I don't talk right, I don't, in your opinion. Yeah, it's just strange that with some people. But then you've got people, famous Scottish, like you said, I find it with a lot of Scottish, I'll say about Scotland, about the actors and the entertainers from a different era. But they were more working class. A lot of them were grounded in sort of working class backgrounds. But when you look at a lot of these Scottish entertainers now, even the musicians, and this is the same as England as well, they're all very middle class, and they always do talk a lot different. I find it, I can't really have much affiliation with a lot of these new it was called so-called British actors. But like we said with Scottish, we're looking at some of the older actors who are still going. There's very Scottish, very broad Scottish accent from wherever they came from. But when you see a lot of these younger Scottish accents, not all of them, but a lot of them, it's more like they've been to public school in various locations, and good luck to them. The parents have got the money, but they do talk awfully different to how normal people talk. I've just noticed that in a few sort of dramas I've seen with Scottish people, and just I had to double check some of them are Scottish. It's just like you say, it's luck of the draw, and if you've got parents who can, if you believe in that public school education, a better education system, elocution, etc. But like I said, a
little bit of that, mate. I went to a public school, mate.
You went to a public school?
We don't call them public schools in Scotland, we call them private schools.
Yeah, it's the same. I didn't know that. I didn't expect that. Well, your accent, didn't you?
it has changed since I left school, but I sounded kind of, people said I sounded kind of English when I first left school, you know what I mean? It's just because I spoke properly, you know what I mean? But that was thanks to the Tories. See, back in my day, mate, see if you could pass the entrance examination, then the government would fund you to go to that school.
Oh yeah, it's the
Tories sent me to a private school.
Yeah, they still do it in this country as well, don't they? You can get a bursary or something. You get a bursary paid for your a private.
They called it assisted places when I was there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But I'm sure Labour done away with it when they came in, because I remember, I'm sure Labour scrapped it, but then Tony Blair still went and sent his kid to a private school.
Well, like I said, you've got to have a little bit about you as well. Obviously, it's different now with certain people, but imagine in your day, you had to have a little bit about you, like you said. So I remember somebody doing it when I went to school. They went to a really good school, but they were all they did well in like the exams sort of thing. So obviously, which is a good thing. It's only right, isn't it?
No, but I remember Labour ruined that, mate. In Scotland, anyway. I don't know if it continued in England, but that was scrapped in Scotland, man. Because I was having an argument with that Miss Dynamite's brother, who's going on about social mobility in Scotland. And I commented, this was on Twitter, and I said to him, what's his name? I need to Google that, man. And I commented it was the Tories that ruined social mobility by scrapping the assisted places. And I'm from the East End of Glasgow. Know what I mean? So that's the lowest of the low, really, know what I mean? And he fucking blocked me.
Well, on YouTube. No, on social media.
Twitter, aye.
Twitter, yeah. Right, so I'm right for tonight. I'm just going to, like I said, I'm going to watch this movie. I'm halfway through. Then I'm going to quickly watch the other two movies. I'm going to fast forward them. Not literally. just to remind me what they're all about. But one of them I don't really have to do it. Then it's just
Akala. Sorry, that's his name. You know that guy, Akala? Did you know Akala?
On Twitter?
He wrote a book about fucking how Britain's terrible. You know what I mean? He's half Scottish, half black.
Is he that? Like I knew you mean. I think I knew you mean.
It was him. I was having an argument with him. And he couldn't answer me back. But you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, there's been a few good things. Well, I say good things. There were some. I don't know if it was Scott. I think Scott Simons in chat. It was either Scott's or Resisting the Lies posted something about one of these new Scots complaining. They always do all the time now. And obviously, what's happening with that? What do you call it? That forced integration in the respect of the new education thing. What's going to go through in Scotland is quite hideous. You know, what about the teachers I expect him to do and the pupils, etc. So I think that's nothing what will end up being carried down into England as well at some stage. So yeah, it's funny times heading for your countrymen, Tam, in Scotland.
It's mad in Scotland. It's mental, isn't it, mate? I always wanted to move back to Scotland. To me, you want to go home, know what I mean? But I would never move back to Scotland as the state it's in just now. I'd rather be in England, to be honest, man.
Well, I think I've said this to you before. The thing what fascinates a lot of English people with Scotland is, I'll say this again. I've said this before on the stream. Is that a lot of people in Scotland must be seeing what's happening in England in the respect of the grooming gangs, the crime, the sort of, they use the word replacement, where white people are white flight. Scottish people must see this. They must know friends who are in England. They must have family members who live in Scotland, live in England, and tell them about how bad it is. You know, in certain areas, why they've moved back to Scotland or they moved out of this particular area for the same, for the reason because of obviously letting certain people in, etc. And it goes on and on. But then this is what just fascinates me. They're just going down under Sturgeon, the SNP, just following the same route, but they're doing it, fast tracking it. You know what I mean? You just think, we don't want to end up like England or Wales. We went, keep his own identity and keep the Scottish people. We're going to look after them first. But it's almost to want anybody to come in, regardless. I don't like social engineering. The actual, in Scotland, it's just weird. I find it. I can't understand them. When you listen to some of these SNP people, and when you listen to just the ordinary people, or see them on social like Twitter, for example, these SNP hardcore members or whatever, or just normal people, they're all for it. This diversity. Let's bring these people in. Let's have more enrichment, etc., etc. But I can't understand the mentality of a lot of people who vote SNP, knowing that's the sort of policies that they're going to push. And again,
I don't think people are that informed about it.
Well, no, I don't. I think they're obsessed with independence. So I think a lot of people, when they vote SNP, think this is the party. They do want independence, and I think that's been really brainwashed with a lot of young ones now. When you talk, I've still got family up there, but all my nephews and nieces have all disowned me. They don't talk to me at all. I have my brother. He's Scottish. He still lives in Scotland. We don't have much to do with him. It's only my auntie who still acknowledges me because of my so-called radical views. Man, I just explained to him. I says, "You come from a town. I come from a town that's in the news a lot when it comes to grooming gangs and stuff. How the fuck are you meant to feel? Oh, that's okay. Yeah, you just tell that young girl, don't do it in front of us, mate. You could." And you try. I went on about that, and I did actually mention Chris Donald to him as well.
But they don't see it like that. They see it like, well, the way they see it would be like, well, there's English people that do that as well. You know what I mean? They don't engage with that bit of the argument, mate. They just smooth over that as if, like, well, that happens everywhere anyway. You know what I mean? If it wasn't those people that were doing it, then there'd be English people doing it, wouldn't there? That's the way they must rationalise that in their head, man. But I don't think they're that informed of what's really happening down here, you know what I mean, man?
Yeah, but don't you think there's, like you said, it's this, like I said, I don't know, too many, only person I think from Scotland, my family, and my mum and dad and my aunt, who still acknowledges me. But she's old Labour, obviously all my family are Labour, the older members send me over auntie, uncle, yeah, I do talk to them, but they're in Bearsden, and they're solid Labour.
Bearsden?
Yes. They had a good job. You know, they had a good job. That's one they did well for himself. So good luck to him. But I don't know.
Bearsden's a posh place, mate.
That's they're Labour support, but they're not old Labour, if you know what I mean. But I just tendency to find on I'll reference social media sometimes when I've seen some stuff on YouTube. A lot of it just seemed to be that a lot of the SNP people are a younger generation, and obviously a lot more younger ones coming through because obviously you can vote. I think in Scotland you can vote at 16 now, or is that just like local elections?
I'm not sure. I think it is.
Yeah, it's not.
It's just local, but they brought it down, didn't they?
Yeah, I know it's not to do with the actual general elections, i.e. What happens in this country.
On the UK level, they can't vote. I'm pretty sure.
It's like council elections and stuff like that. And obviously refugees can do the same, or illegal immigrants and all that sort of thing. So it's just bizarre what's going on. And like you said, what I see from the outside is just, it's like a form of brainwashing, social engineering with a lot of the young people. And it's like I've talked about this before. And I believe what I'm going to say is right. There's always been a competitive element between Scotland and England. But I find I've spoke to loads of Scottish people who've come to where I live or in various places. Now Blackpool's a good example. Never had any issues, and vice versa, all being well. But I do believe the SNP, some of them are stoking up a little bit of anti-Englishness with some of the rhetoric they come out with, especially when they reference Westminster. There has been some incidents. I don't mean necessarily physicalities. There is some unsavoury. An unsavoury element associated with SNP. Some people, you've seen it yourself, and there's been some headlines about it. So that's why I just think that the SNP are a one-trick pony, if I'm using that expression right, in the sense all they're there for is it's a bit like the Brexit Party, aren't they, in some respects, or UKIP. They're there just to get Scottish independence because obviously.
Right, but the thing is that the SNP have cornered us. They're the only party that's Scottish. Know what I mean? So a lot of people defer just back to that, like. All the other parties are based in Westminster, except the SNP. So that's the party because I'm Scottish. You know what I mean?
Yeah, good point. About that. Yeah.
And like independence as well, it may not be the SNP's version of independence they want, but it's something that, again, SNP's cornered that market. You know what I mean? Yeah, understood. You had a little bit of thingy there, a little bit of, I don't know if it's static on your thing. Right, so I'm going to call this a draw, Tam, yeah? Yeah, no, cheers, mate. Thanks very much for helping me try this out, and thanks to everybody who's turned up. Shinobi, what, Tyler, afternoon, big man. Cheers for popping in.
Right, so what I'll do is I'll see you about 7:45 on StreamYard, and I don't know if I put a link in the channel. If not, I'll do it again. I'm not sure if I did, to be honest with you. And like I said, I better be watching this film. My computer's frozen. Can you hear me?
Yeah, brand new.
Right, so just log out. I can't do anything. It's just frozen again.
I'll let you go, my friend.
I can't go. You have to unleash me.
I'll kick you. Right.
Yeah, just kick us out.
Cheers, guys. All right, lads. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and I'll see you tonight on Bonnie Lads, 8 o'clock.